welcome to Trendz Live on SABC News Channel 404. I'm your host, Nkosazana Dambuza Makuba, with you until 9 p.m. tonight. Now remember to interact with us on X at Trendz on SABC. And topping our bulletin this evening, on Sunday evening, Mzantsi's television actors, producers, directors, and those who always stay in the loop were gathered at the Shepstone Gardens in Houghton, Johannesburg for a special screening of the Oscars. The glitzy night had a series of activities in the build-up to the screening. Selepe Maifadi was there to catch it all. Let's check out the vibes.
We're here to celebrate the Oscars, and they said, you know what, you guys are not sleeping, we're watching this in real time, and a whole lot of activities happening ahead of this amazing live spectacle. I'm here with the who's who in the game, people who are doing the most, and of course, if you eating the most about the industry, you know, so I'm in great company, right? We're in great company, don't you think?
It's a good day. It's a really good day. We're having fun out here. Yeah.
For you, when you heard Witzigeng Arorovala, event felaga 4 or live little party, okay, sharp, get that.
I didn't have plans for today, and any other excuse or reason to gather with fellow creatives and actors and directors alike, people who make film and television in the country, is a beautiful excuse to come out. More than anything, it's a big day for our industry to see other actors globally being celebrated at the Oscars. Yeah, so it's great to watch because then I'll know how to walk that red carpet soon in the future.
And when you think about the Oscars, what do you want to see? Like, what is aesthetically marking? Yes, definitely.
We definitely want like the red carpet to be on fire, which it is. We want the decor to be next level. We want the food to be incredible. We want to be able to see what's happening on the screen. So some big screens. If the screens are tiny, we've got a problem.
One thing that we know about the Oscars is that the carpet has the most beautiful looks. And in SA, they did a whole event, and obvious, you know, the hands are gonna come through, okay? How you doing?
All the time. I'm good. How are you?
Well, thanks. Tell us a bit about your ensemble and how you were like, this is perfect for Oscars 2024, the SA edition.
Ooh, I like simple but fitting clothes where I can be comfortable but sexy at the same time. And black is my go-to color. It's my favorite color. So I was like, let me put a bit of both, you know, but at the same time I want to be sexy because it's the Oscars, you know. So it's literally a simple look. It's beautiful because it's worn by a beautiful lady. Thank you. And yeah, I think black can go with anything, honestly.
You look dashing, it's beautiful, everything is just va. Give me a 360, give me a 360. You know, tell me what inspired this look and why do you think it's an Oscar look?
Look, I think everything started with the theme itself. Right, so today we are part of the Oscars red carpet, and we're doing it in Africa. So I just had to make sure that I represent Africa well. I love being seen. I love structure. I love art. I think physics and art. I think that makes sense. This is giving physics. You know, I love it. You know, all those things, all the proportions are all working together. But I think it's just respecting the brand, just respecting the invite itself, just making sure that up on the choreo, I'm there and I'm looking amazing.
But Trendy, we're here, we're chatting it up, okay?
This weekend, we celebrated 45 years of success with music icon Ihhashi Elimhlophe at Theatre on the Square in Sandton. This legendary artist commemorates all these remarkable years in the music industry, captivating the stage with a breathtaking performance. Show producer Asanda Zondi was part of this celebration. Take a look.
Nazo phela shela umhlophe lehlala ngitaba masongudli kwele lapho uza lapha lazisoka ngqongqongo haleluya sibala matshela njengentondolo bodla kwenyuke kwesizulwini ukuthi abe mfla kwamhlaba qinisa ihlehle nasebedlile kuyahla kuyashela ngaswayiba kusho mina ngisho kuwe yithi abantu nabelungu bayazima ungakholwa ngababuza ngazi ukuthi umsoka kanjani ukutshelela ngathi ngishapa ngigrand ngimnandi ngifresh kwashaba fana kumaskando sentweni.
Renowned as a household name in South African Maskandi traditional Zulu music, Ihhashi Elimhlophe, led by the iconic Begin Gobo, made their first recording in the 80s. As a music music icon, Ihhashi boasts an extensive repertoire of collaborations across various genres.
Yeah, kusho ukuthi nje kungehash ukuthi celebrate i45 years ku industry. Umuntu ubambile kwaze kwafika la. Sisadlula futhi. Yes, sisadlula uyangibona nje na ukuthi hayi ngisase fit. Ngasho ukuthi umusa kaNkuluNkulu, uma uhamba ngendlela kaNkuluNkulu uhamba ngendlela eright. Uyakwazi ukuzigcina, uyakwazi ukuziphatha, uyakwazi ukuhlonipha, uyakwazi ukuhlonipha umsebenzi wakho. Ngoba into ebalulekile uma ngabe umuntu owenzela abantu into enhle kufuna ubahloniphe ngoba ngaphandle kwabantu alikho Ihhashi Elimhlophe. Before ngizoba Ihhashi Elimhlophe ngisebenze noThisha, ngisebenze noSteve Kekane, ngisebenze nabantu abaningi, special 5 abantu abaningi industry ngisebenze nabo. And then ngasebenza neSoul Brothers. iSoul Brothers mayivula igroup yayo encane bebeyibiza imtshotshofu bekulida mina. Yes, and then ngisebenze nabantu abaningi futhi ku-industry ke sengiyihhashi elimhlophe. Abomama Ivuni Chaka, aboJabu Khanyile, aboSibuwa Maloya, aboZola, abo-Oskido.
What are the challenges that you faced as a music artist and how did you overcome them?
Ukuhlupheka la eGoli ngikwazi konke ukuhlupheka kukho ngangixoxela ngakho. Ngiyakwazi ukuxoshwa ebusuku ngabo 12 la ngiqhashe khona, ngiyakwazi ukulala ekrabhini zeimoto.
How did you convince your kids ukuthi listen, you are going to be performing with me sizoyenza uMaskandi, this is what I'm starting for our family?
Ngikutshela imfihlo azange sabacela, sathi sibuya nje nomama wabo sathola beyirekhodile ngetape, bathi cela silalela idemo yabo salalela, sezuthi hayibo labantu bayacula phela. Saqala safuna ukuba record emakhampanini but amakhampani abengafuni, bathi no ayikho imakethe yezingane. Saze saba nenhlanhla kuma ngabe sithola ukuthi kukhona ikhampani esihlangana nayo sibe joint venture nayo, sase sikwazi ukuthi siba record kwakuqala amabhulika.
For us, it's something that came naturally. You know, one day Mama and Baba were not around, we put together our little demo, we wanted to do what our parents do, and it was just a bug.
Creative industry fans reflected and shared what they've learned from him over the years.
Looking into his physical personality, I can tell ukuthi umuntu oyinakekelayo in terms of umzimba wakhe, in terms of health yakhe. And I think it's something that you have to take as young millennials in the art. Ukuthi kumele sinakekele imizimba yethu, kumele also sihloniphe in-industry because it's very rare ukuthi uthole umuntu osesebenza iminyaka emingaka like iminyaka seyiphilile kwi-art industry indala kunayo 45 years zonke. It's something huge.
Music is sustainable. Music can be a lifelong career. All you have to do is surround yourself with the right support system because I mean noma una 89 maqula kamnandi usayikhaba leya high kick, we'll be there for you.
Ihhashi Elimhlophe is definitely a legend because yazi kule music industry there is a lot that happens and there is a lot that, especially for thina abantu abasha, there's a lot that esiwela kuzo yabona izinto esiwela kuzo. So looking at him and seeing him as a role model for us is very huge.
I just want to say Babu Ngobo Phuze Mapolova, thank you for the man that you are. My dad is absolutely phenomenal.
And I think another thing which I think is so mind-blowing is how little resources my dad had, but nonetheless he was able to ukuthi ayenze konke akakwenzile and akudlulisele nakithi.
Most khuluma ngoIhhashi Elimhlophe, which song comes into mind for you?
Wonke ngake ngibone mina.
I mean, to grow up listening to the legend and to be here, be part of the team that is organizing this, for me, it's a dream come true. I'm done.
Stick with us for more music and arts after the break. thanks for staying with us. Mzantsi's television stars gathered for the spectacular evening to not only watch the live screening of the 96th Academy Awards, but to also honor the remarkable works of veteran actor Dr. Jerry Mofokeng Makhetha and multi-award-winning South African actress Nambitha Ben Mazwi. These honorees were part of a panel discussion that was held over a 3-course dinner. Let's see how that went.
When you think of the Oscars, as someone who's done so greatly within this industry, what comes to mind?
It says the colleagues, the industry, the globe says you've done good in your craft. That's what it says, even more than you have recognized yourself. So it's something that just says, oh, really? Did I get it right? Thank you very much. But to be honored in your country and to be honored whilst you're alive, it says there's no guilt, there's no whatever, it's real. So it's beautiful.
You're part of a panel that really celebrated 2 people that are doing a lot of amazing work, right? What do you think? What's your take on giving them this honor?
Yeah, well, we need to do more of it. And I think Don Julio has done an amazing thing by doing something like this. We have to be in the habit of always encouraging each other, the habit of speaking life unto each other. Because as glamorous as this space might be, it's not. It's very tough to be in the industry. It's very tough to keep going. It's very tough to always find a reason to keep going. So when I got the invite to come and celebrate Dr. Jerry and Nambitha, 2 people whose work I've thoroughly enjoyed, I was not going to say no. Not just because they are great artists and amazing thespians, but because the intention behind this is a really, really great one.
We were, of course, at a standstill when we saw you do your remarkable performance from Jozi and just thinking, you know, and it got us to that Oscar level. How was it for you carrying such a big accolade on your back, knowing that you're doing it for South Africa?
You see, when you're doing the script, when you're doing your rehearsals, when you're doing your homework, when you're getting on set, you're not thinking awards. But Gavin Hood is an actor's director, and so he worked on me. Gavin comes to me and he says, old man, I've talked to makeup. I've asked them to give you artificial tears. I said, no, I don't want artificial tears because it won't be coming from inside. And in no time, they'll dry. Give me no tears. Let's do this thing. And so I sit on my chair and we do the scene, and he says, it's not enough. It's not enough. And then he sits next to me and he shouts at me and whispers a few things. And then I'm crying and snot starts coming out and I want to watch it. He says, no, don't touch it. Don't touch it. And I says, camera roll, sound, action. That's how you got that kind of performance.
One takeout that I got from today, from what you said, is that you intentionally plan scenes in whatever production that you're working on for an accolade, for that big award. What would you say is the recipe?
Well, without saying too much, because the other producers might be watching, I think by the time that we do that, we know our actors intimately. We know our actors' strengths and weaknesses. We know the scenes that they execute with excellence and with conviction. So then once we know that and once we are able to meet them where they are, then we can write such material that will hopefully earn them those big awards. But it doesn't happen by chance. You've got to have spent enough time with them. You've got to know the character. You've got to know what the character would do and how they would respond, because then you write from a truthful space.
As long as they are far away from the person that I am, then it makes it easy for me to work, because I don't want to play myself. With my craft, I enjoy performing and just performing characters.
So we've seen like people like Heath Ledger take on a character a bit too far in getting into a specific role, how do you tap out after utlile or feel that action and then okay, now I'm going back to Warren? What do you do to disconnect again?
So how I debrief is just to take a young 5-kilometer walk. A whole lot happens in that 5 minutes. I mean, in that 5 kilometer, which goes about 30 minutes. So I get to breathe, I get to think, I get to get some new oxygen. And by the time I get back home, then I just freshen up and rest, because it's most likely that I go back to the same character, if not 2 or 3 the very next day. So it's important to debrief as an actor. Otherwise, like Heath, you might end up.
Because it was real inside and I was weeping. When they said cut, I was empty. And that's how you get that kind of award, where you jump into the deep end because you believe what the director says, you love the character and the dialogue. It's like it was written with you in mind.
Wow. Do you have any words to share with the young actors and filmmakers that are currently in South Africa, building up to getting to that momentous occasions and being able to be celebrated in the way that you are?
There's something in the Bible, allow me to say that. A verse, Ecclesiastes 9:10, I think it is, it says, whatsoever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. Do it with excellence. It doesn't matter. There's no big role, there's no small role, and people think we're joking when we say that. Every little thing, let it be memorable. And when you get to be big, be good at your craft and be a good human being for goodness sake.
You're talking about a strategy of some sort that you have of how you're going to get yourself to the Oscars. And I really don't doubt. I feel like already, Mara, what is that journey and how do you think you're going to actually get there?
Mine is a God-given talent. My ancestor nurtured it really well. So everything happens with time in time. And I've been doing work internationally and locally. So when the penny drops, the world will know.
And for you, what's next?
If you're not paying your TV license, you will find me on your streaming channels. I love you, South Africa.
Among guys, pay your TV license is the right thing to do. Scout the law. Marias, yeah, love another streaming.
Onto this story now. If you're a lover of unforgettable moments and a life of pure luxury, then this one's for you. Drinking wine is an often enjoyable leisure, but what would the experience be heightened if you sipped it on water? Well, St. Francis Bay recently hosted the Wine on Water Cruise Festival, a classy, unusual exposure to various wineries. And Trendz producer Didintle Mokoletse couldn't miss this excursion. Take a look.
Boats on canals in a plush area in a small water village in St. Francis Bay. Bringing even better vibes to the day, enthusiasts were ready for an exclusive day of wine tasting.
Hi guys, sipping on a really fine glass of wine is always a magnificent experience. But guess what? Today we're going to change the traditional way of consuming wine by having it on water.
We're gonna have some wine on water. And off we go to explore world-class wines hosted in magnificent private homes along the marina. This an experience that bucket list accomplishments are made of. Wine can be consumed anywhere. Where's the thrill in drinking it on water?
Well, if you look at this environment, isn't it a fantastic environment to be in?
Beautiful.
So what nicer place to get out with your friends. We do certainly have some outstanding winemakers who are not only locally known but also internationally known.
What's the criteria that is followed when you select your winemakers?
Look, obviously we're trying to approach some of the top winemakers in the country, and out of a sense of loyalty we'll always give them first option to our next Wine on Water. And so, but we've grown the event, and so we are able to accommodate people that weren't able to make it last year.
This feels a lot more luxurious than just visiting a wine farm.
Yeah, well, if you travel on the canals, you'll be blown away by the beauty of the environment, the lovely homes along the canals. And if you add the ambience and the opportunity to taste some really good wines, I don't think you can get much better than that.
What tickles the taste buds and what makes a really good wine is just complexity and layers. Wine is like a piece of art. You can sit and you can sip, you just get transported to a different world and you get a feeling of warmth. And that's what makes wine so special. So good quality wine starts in the vineyards. It starts with how the soil is taken care of, how the vines grow, how your vineyard is taken care of, and it's all about teamwork, and that translates and goes through to the winemaker and then eventually ends up within the bottle. So what makes a really good wine, and you can taste it's a good wine, is just love. Layers, minerality, clear, authentic.
So how does the Wine on Water experience help us know more about wine?
So what's great about this event's Wine on Water is you get to experience various brands on the same day. So you will be able to be exposed to various Chenin Blancs from various regions within Stellenbosch, Constantia, Franschhoek. So you get to experience all the various regions and what a Chenin in every region does. But you also get to know new brands, so things you've never heard of, never experienced.
It's unbelievable. I would recommend anyone to come here. It's so much fun. We drink good wine, we have good laughs with our friends, and it's just the most amazing story.
It's wonderful. It's a lovely day. We have perfect weather, and it's awesome to go from wine farm to wine farm. It's actually better than actually being at the wine farms. So it's perfect.
Each disembarkment is an introduction to a new brand of bubbles, red or white wine. There were also some heartwarming stories along the route.
We're a new winery. The winery is called Oneric. Oneric means to dream. And I feel we all have dreams. And when we bought the farm, we were like, this really is a dream. Let's find a word that means that. On the side, I wanted to bring something more feminine in. And I created copper lining. I tried for years to have children. And on my last IVF, a friend wished me a copper lining. So it became my brand. I never managed to have children, but I always say this has become my baby. So I think you can't go wrong with pink wine. It works with anything. A hot summer's day, cold winter's night, with fish, with meat. As long as it's nicely served chilled. But I think pink just works. Whether it's pink clothing, pink hats, if there was a shop called Pink, I would be in it.
After tasting the variety of wines, what do you now know for sure works for your taste buds?
I like bubbles. The reason why I like bubbles, considering the weather today, it's very hot. So for me, something that really works for me is something that is like a sparkling wine that will cool me down. And then red wine I would probably do in the evening when it's a lot cooler, and I would have it with meat. Because right now we're just tasting and there's no meat or fish or anything like that. So this works for me. And of course you have to hydrate. Lots and lots of water.
My expectations were like, it's gonna be a lot of wine. So I was like, yo, I'm coming. And when I came here, it like exceeded my expectations. Like the wine here is amazing. All the wine farms wine is like, it's the best. Like I'm a wine person. Like I was brought up with wine. My first drink was like a glass of wine, so I'm happy.
An iconic festival on the canals, which also aims to raise funds for community work in this area. 3 years later, many attest that this is certainly an unforgettable treat.
Fast cars, fashion, opulence, and art were all blended together under one roof to showcase creativity and authentic appreciation for high-end vehicles and showroom expansion by a local luxury car company.
At the gallery-styled event, exotic cars were exhibited amongst art pieces around the showroom. These exotic luxury cars were turned into art installations. Visual artists see the creator mesmerized guests when he created custom-painted artworks on some of the supercars on the night.
Growing up, I consumed a lot of all sorts of different media, varying from cartoons, anime, video games, being, your racing games like Need for Speed and all of that. So that's been a part of my life all the way up to this point, you see. So when the opportunity came to showcase my passion for cars and art all at once, I just jumped at it. Cars are designed, they are art pieces. They're engineered, they're first drawn, they're sketched out. There's a whole process that goes into creating a car, and that in itself is a very complicated art, So I feel like the blend of making whatever car it is, even more generally appealing, it just makes sense, you know? So yeah, that's where I'll draw the link. I can tell you that McLaren took about 4 days of work, because for at least a day and a half, I was just masking the car. So meaning I was protecting all the very valuable bits on it, being the carbon fiber, filling in gaps before I could even start painting. And the painting started pretty much late yesterday till today.
Where to from here?
To the moon. I just want to take things as far as I can. I'm hungry, I'm ready, I'm creatively driven, I'm ready to work.
The evening also included a striking fashion show by an African luxury brand. Founded by visionary designer Samgelo Kaba, the brand emphasizes sustainability and functionality with looks inspired by geometric modernism and Afro-cultural heritage.
There's a big spike in the fashion industry and the motor industry coming together to do collaborations. I mean, we've seen the likes of Rich Mnisi collaborating with a car brand. So we're seeing more and more of that coming into the industry, and I think it's beautiful. So that's something that we're really much interested in doing with our brand.
When a fashion designer is collaborating with a car brand, what is the aim? What is the objective?
It's all about bringing your design elements and design language and ethos into the actual car design itself. So I don't necessarily need to design a car, but I could design a new perspective of how to look at a pre-existing car. So it's just all about that, and that's within my work of trade. These cars, we could easily give it a new perspective with intertwining it with our own fashion brands, you know.
How so?
With, I mean, I could put my brand DNA on a specific car, and when people notice the car in the streets, they'll literally see what I do in my fashion on that car.
It is evident that artists have been using cars as canvases for years. But what is this rise in luxury limited edition car galleries all about?
It's a celebration of art, culture, music, fashion, and cars, and how we're tying it together, and the experience and the lifestyle we're trying to create and sell within the brand, you know, and celebration of young artists, young entrepreneurs, young fashion designers, and tying it all together, and just giving everybody a platform to really showcase what they're capable of. Just giving somebody a unique piece, a unique car, and a unique piece of artwork, and tying those two together, you know. I think that's how we've managed to just put it together and try and create something special for the client.
Personally, that's exactly what it is. It's a lifestyle, and it's a one-of-one. So you're not going to find anyone else driving the same car or the same color, because obviously it's special. It's something created from inspiration of the artist, and you won't get that anywhere else. Even the artist won't recreate what he's done on this vehicle, you know, and that's what I think sets it aside from everyone else. So it's not something you're going to see every day. I don't think it's something someone is going to drive every day, but it's something someone wants in their garage so that they can say, I have this.
So obviously when you're at a certain point of wealth, it makes sense. It's not really a car that you drive out every day. It's more of a car to look nice in your garage with 20 other cars. So I don't think I'm at a point where I would do that, but I have nothing against it, and I do celebrate for those who do.
Please don't hesitate. Go get that limited edition car now. Just to have a collection you're going to look at in your house, right? From Trendz Live, Asanda Zondi.
We celebrate Human Rights Month with a visit to a museum and a guest house in Orchards, east of Johannesburg, that has preserved the legacy of political icon Mahatma Gandhi. Listed as a national heritage space, the museum opened its doors to the public in 2010.
Satyagraha House is one of the many that Mahatma Gandhi lived in during his 20-year stay in South Africa. Built in 1908 and known as the Kraal, the house has now been transformed into a museum and guest house for travelers who are looking for both relaxation and spiritual connection. The historical pictures and drawings in the reception area tells many stories of an influential man of the 19th century.
century. From how he touched many lives when he was a human rights lawyer to starting a Satyagraha movement. This Human Rights Month, we reflect on the life and times of Gandhi as one of the lawyers who played a pivotal role in the fight for freedom in South Africa and back in his home country, India. We came to this house to immerse ourselves in his spirit.
This is basically a house that Gandhi got invited to by his friend Herman Kallenbach, who was born in Lithuania, Germany, and an architect who then liked Gandhi's principles. So when he came to South Africa and knew that Gandhi was here, they met up in 1902, where he invited Gandhi to a vegetarian store where he then agreed to sponsor his movement. The house has two parts to it, two rondavels. So the first rondavel we take our guests to has Gandhi's 7 social sins, which 2 would be politics without principles and wealth without work. So right over here we have his 11 principles, which is Ahimsa for non-violence, and then Satya, the truth. And then he uses equipment every day for an hour in his room to make his own cotton clothing. As you can see in the pictures, the first, the second, and the third one, he's wearing the cotton fabrics. And then over here, we have his 7 social sins. The second rondavel has pictures of people that are close to Gandhi, which are also the rooms that are named after them. In this rondavel, it's Gandhi's inner circle. So like I said with the rooms, they're named after Gandhi's close friends. So we have here Henry and Millie. So they worked closely with Gandhi when he was practicing law. Tambi Naidu was Gandhi's bodyguard. Lewis Walter, him and Gandhi never actually met. Lewis just liked Gandhi's principles, so they exchanged letters to each other. Reverend Doak assisted Gandhi when Gandhi got beaten up. Sonia was Gandhi's secretary while he was practicing law. And then lastly, we have Kastruba, who was Gandhi's wife with their 4 kids, which are all male. And then here's a lovely picture that we know was taken in Johannesburg while Gandhi was practicing law because of his attire. In this room, which is the main room, we have our lovely library. So basically, this library has these 2 books. So these 2 books are letters that was written by Gandhi to either Lewis Walter, Kastruba, absolutely. And they are not original letters, they are all photocopies.
Gandhi lived by many principles, one of which was leading a very austere and frugal life. As such, the services here are a reflection of those principles.
The reason why we're simple is because we go by the philosophy of Gandhi, where simplicity is luxury. So all our rooms are basic. We don't firstly sell alcohol. We are vegetarian. For dinner, we have 3-course or a 5-course meal. The 5-course meal comes with a tea pairing that you guys will have the opportunity to have. And then for lunch, we have also a 2-course and then breakfast. And also we don't serve any processed drinks, and everything is homemade, and we try to be as organic as possible. And we have an organic garden, so we do try to take vegetables there to serve our guests. And then with regard to our rooms, there's no TV, there's no radio. The only thing that recently got introduced was Wi-Fi. And other than that, it's just gonna be very simple. So when you do go to the rooms, please do not be surprised when you see the simplicity. So our clientele, majority of them come from France. We have a couple of Americans, and then we hardly have locals. So we'd love to have locals coming as soon as they see us. Because we're at a secluded place, it's very quiet, so people can be in tune with themselves. They could do meditating, we offer meditating, so they come here and meditate, massages at a very quiet place. So that's one thing, is just our scenery and how quiet we are.
It's truly amazing how visiting a serene atmosphere like this, reminding you of how even the smallest of gestures could bear the greatest of fruits, can actually leave you in a tranquil state and looking forward to what the world has to offer.
Time and again, as human beings, we need time out from the hustle and bustle of busy life just to relax and regroup. And what better way to do that than with a non-intrusive and simple session, sound bath to relax. Take a look.
Conducted by a sound alchemist, this session is a guided exploration deep into the self. Using music and sound, you are bound to be transported to a relaxed space of comfort and healing, where you can connect to your essential core.
If you think about it, everything vibrates, right? You have the planets moving, that's vibration. Your body, as you're breathing in and out, your cells, your bones, everything in your body. So basically, this vibration causes sound, right? Whether or not the sound is audible to the ear, but it does cause sound. So sound therapy is the application of these frequencies in order to heal the body. So think about your body as an orchestra and everything else in your body as an instrument. So if anything is not working, then it causes disharmony. So as a sound alchemist, what I do is then bring back that harmony into the body. It could be a sports injury, it could be you going through stress, it could be you going through grief. So we use sound in order to get the body back into harmony and to fix wherever we need to fix if there's any dis-ease in the body. So with me, how I got into sound, I think I was in Kenya, in Lamu in Kenya, where there's a lady that I met and I went for a sound bath. I didn't know what a sound bath was. So I literally surrendered myself to the process, and through the sound bath, or at the sound bath, I realized that there was a change in my body. And when that happened, I think I just surrendered to the process and I just let it work on me. And I think for me, that was a defining moment, because I knew that music always makes me feel a certain type of way. But when I went for the sound therapy and the sound healing, and I literally surrendered to the process, I started feeling a change in me.
Humans have had a spiritual connection to water and sound for generations, and creating therapy and rituals around those connections is one of the many universal practices dating back to ancient times.
If you think about, your body is made out of about 60 to about 70% of water, right? And water is a very good conductor of sound and a good conductor of vibrations. So therefore, when I use these instruments, your body literally vibrates, and there is something that happens in your body, and there's a renewal. And the sound also helps with your brain waves. It has the ability to slow down your breathing, to slow down everything in your body, so that you're not in a fight and flight mode.
Some proponents of sound bathing claim it helps people with various concerns, such as stress, processing emotions, or unblocking chakras.
I think a lot of us, because we live in such hectic environments and living in the city and you are all over the place, you have a tendency of just being in a fight or flight mode. We don't even breathe properly, so you shallow breathe quite a lot. So sound healing has the ability to then be able to slow down that breathing, to help you distress, to help you get into a meditative state of mind. Through the sound healing, we work with something called your energy centers in your body. So you've got 7 energy centers in your body, and each of them are responsible for a particular thing in your body. So for instance, I'll speak to the root chakra, which is one of the energy centers. The root is known for grounding us as people. It's also known for assisting us when we are anxious. If it's misaligned, you will experience a lot of anxiety, a lot of identity issues, and so forth. So with sound healing, each note that I will play with my instruments has the ability to then align your energy centers. So that's how it works.
Sound is not just a means of communication, but a powerful tool influencing our mental and physical states, regardless of who and what we believe.
So the church in itself as an institution understands the concept of using sound to heal the body. So I don't think it's a foreign concept. In fact, I have a lot of Christian people that come to me for meditation, that come to me for sound healing, that come to me for sound baths. So for me personally, I've never experienced an issue, and I don't see it as a religion. I don't see it as anything outside of what it is, which is bringing the body into harmony. Whether or not you are Christian, whether or not you are Muslim, whether or not you're Jew, whatever religion that you are from, I think as people, we've always understood that sound has the ability to heal the body, no matter who you are. So for me, I don't think it's convincing. I think it's more of understanding that even within the church, we do use musical instruments. I could bring my piano here if I could, to play the piano and to also align you. It's the same thing, whether I'm using a piano, whether I'm using a mbira, whether I'm using a drum, whether I'm using bells, which we use in church. It's the same thing, really. It's just a way of just bringing the body into harmony and into a meditative state so that you are able to feel good.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back on your screens next week, Friday. Have a lovely and safe weekend. God bless.